Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another Market Mates episode. Good to be back with you all. Craig was obviously away yesterday. Hopefully, you and your fam have recovered from your little bout of sickness or whatever you guys had. Hopefully, you guys are doing all right. And obviously, we got OSF on the show. Good to have him back on the show and chat all things REKT and chat all things crypto markets. So, boys, how are we both doing today?
Mate, I'm good. OSF, we spoke about 8 months ago, so this will be quite interested to see how the goals been, brother. But yeah, over to you, man. How are you?
Doing well. Good to be back on the show. Good to chat with you guys again. But yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Good start to the year.
That's what you want to hear. Before we jump in, guys, obviously special plug to OKX. If you're keen, you can sign up down below. The most trusted exchange in crypto, and it's where I've been buying my Bitcoin. You get 1,000. If you do $1,000 of volume, you get $75 for free. You can sign up down below. Well, boys, I think we'll start obviously probably market, because I know if you watch the show, and a lot of people do, they think I'm quite bearish at the moment. So I'd love to get both your boys' take on the market at the moment. But yeah, we're in an interesting spot. Like, obviously, we had a pre-all-time high halving for the first time in history. Arguably, 24 was very bullish. 25 was very subdued. There was still like good opportunities in the market, but it didn't really relay whole market wide. Mainly, maybe because of Trump, maybe because of meme coins, maybe because of these platforms, InfoFi. Who knows what the fundamental reason is? Potentially QT rather than QE. Boys, what do we think the market? Where are we in the market? I'll take my side of the view after you guys say some things. But OSF, what do you reckon? You're still bullish? I know from my understanding. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm definitely still bullish. Like, I think by now, I mean, maybe it's a bit premature to say this, but I don't think we're going to see this typical 4-year cycle style price action. And I think people are still people suffer from recency bias quite a lot, and they're still very scarred by what happened in 2022, 2023, and the fact that, remember, a lot of people that we see and speak to on CT are retail people, are in meme coins, altcoins. They had a terrible year last year, so everyone sort of feels a bit beaten up, and it's probably now thinking, what's the point? Like, this stuff's kind of dead. And it really does remind me of what the sentiment was like end of 22, beginning of 23, when people were just throwing in the towel and giving up. But 2022, the world was in a very different place. You had in the crypto world, you had everything blowing up: FTX, 3AC, Lunaterra, Voyager, Celsius. Like, the entire thing just fucking blew up. We haven't had that this time. We've had 1010. Sure, we've had the biggest liquidation day ever, but from a structural standpoint, you haven't had such a big blow up like that. On top of that, you have pro-crypto US government, pro-crypto president. Last time around, you had the SEC trying to kill it. And on top of that, the macro landscape is actually pretty strong. Remember, inflation was hit 9.1% in at the beginning of 2022, when interest rates were basically zero. Like, that's a fucked position. You don't, like, that's so hard to get out of, and that's really where everything nuked. Whereas now it's like, okay, inflation is like 2.8, 2.9%, and the base rate's actually way higher. It's like 4.25, 4.5. So the Fed has just tons and tons of room to maneuver. And my thesis for this year really is that Powell steps down in May, if not earlier. You have midterms as well, and I think Trump's going to throw everything that he can to have a strong economic backdrop to do better in the midterms than they currently forecast. And whoever replaces Jerome Powell will be someone who is going to be a bit more gung-ho on slashing interest rates. So my view is that we kind of sort of like how he rallied into Trump getting elected in November, over like remember 2024, we had a bad, tough summer spell. It was like Bitcoin dropped to 57K. It was like really tough. Then when people realized it changed. And I think we're going to see the same thing here. So for now, there's a bit of, we had some excitement this year, and it looked like we were going to break out, and now we've pulled back. And I think we're just in a bit of a chop really for now. But I think as we get closer to May, I think we're going to start to see a bit more price action towards the upside. That's my view.
Craig?
Yeah, I'll probably agree along the lines of OSF. I just don't know. I mean, you and I have spoken about it a lot, Greenie. I just don't know if all that stuff combined will be enough to push to a fresh all-time high. but I am still expecting, or maybe not expecting might not be the right word, but looking out for a lower high somewhere around upwards of about the 117K mark. So what OSF said could be very much correct, and still catalysts I agree with. What I'm interested in is seeing whether that 4-year cycle is broken, which is what everyone's kind of arguing about at the moment. So if we hit a fresh all-time high, well then
it is broken.
We can all agree it's broken, and then we can all move on from that. So it's kind of like we're in this holding stage at the moment where I'm saying for the moment it's the same. Maybe OEF's saying at the moment it's different. Greenie, you're like it's still the same. I wouldn't mind seeing a resolution on that one sooner rather than later, just to get it over with. But we might have a couple more months at play. As OSF said, maybe we might have to wait till May to see some of those catalysts come in. But certainly Trump, midterms, inflation, unemployment rates, it's all looking quite bullish.
From a fundamental standpoint.
Standpoint. Chart standpoint, looks like the lower high still in, but I mean, that could obviously change very quickly. Give us a 20K candle and we might be out of there.
Very fair.
Whether we get that 20K candle, I don't know. Greenie, hit me with your...
on like a yearly, a 6-month and a quarterly chart, I'm quite bearish. Unless we show strength above 107, show strength probably above 112, and then 119 is probably the high weekly level to keep in mind. But there's a lot of room, in my opinion, on the weekly charts if the market can catch a bid. We obviously have liquidity below the 80K low, and even more recently in that range that we've kind of left, it is manipulation, this kind of move recently. That brutal, I was like, just literally after the live stream yesterday, we dropped like what, $4,000 or something instantaneously. So there's still a lot of manipulation out there. I am bullish. I'm bullish in the sense that I think this year will be a reaccumulation year. I agree that I don't think it'll be anywhere near as brutal as previous bear markets, particularly for Bitcoin. I think memes and alts will suffer greatly. And it really just shows you the actual products like REKT and maybe platforms like Hyperliquid, maybe Pump, who have strong business models, strong income, strong revenue, strong participation on their platforms will continue to thrive probably into a potential bear market. But I do think there's going to be opportunity later this year at some stage to probably accumulate Bitcoin, maybe in the 60K region, maybe lower. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm pretty bullish to buy them because I do think, as you said, OSF, I don't think we go anywhere near as deep as we previously did, particularly on the majors. I think they're definitely going to be holding up a lot better this time around. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, like, you never know. There could be some crazy black swan event, and that's the thing that fucking nukes it all. You know, and by definition of a black swan, we just don't know if it's coming. But I still haven't seen anything really that I feel like I'm worried about. And that in itself, some people may say is concerning, but you know, there isn't really anything there. I think, you know, 60K is a big move. I can see, you know, prior to this move at the start of the year, I was like, yeah, maybe we could drop to 75 or something like that. And at that point in time, it was only like a 10% move lower in Bitcoin. So, you know, when we were at around like the 82, 83 level, my thought was like, at this point, like you might as well be long and have some room to average down, because if we do move lower, it's what's going to be 10-15% move lower in Bitcoin, but the upside is obviously a lot bigger. So but yeah, I just have a different style, I guess, to many people in terms of trading and investing, and I'm more likely to just buy dips and keep averaging lower and stay patient than I am to try and kind of trade the you know, the intra day, week, month moves, basically.
Yeah, of course. And let's talk on that. I know you are huge, before you went full town into REKT, probably over the past sort of like year or so, you're a huge meme coin guy, you're a huge degenerate. I've seen you obviously speak recently about maybe not trading as much, which in my opinion is a good thing because you're running a business and that's obviously thriving. But what does that look like? If you're buying dips, is it majors? Is it still meme coins like Mog and Pepe and stuff? Or have you moved away from that? Talk to us a little bit about what that looks like for you.
No, I'm completely out of meme coins because I think they take up a lot of headspace. Even if you're in majors, even if you're in Pepe and stuff like that, it takes up a lot of mind space, and I just don't want to be thinking about managing my portfolio any amount of the day.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really just Bitcoin and ETH. I'm still a big believer in ETH. I know the timeline is a bit more divided on it, but I still do think it will come out on top. And I think the DAT stuff will end up being positive for it. And, you know, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. So really it's just the majors. And I've just had levels where I've bought back in on spot and from stuff that I'd sold the previous year and hold on to it. And, you know, if anything, I'm kind of like, had some levels hit in the 80s, and then obviously had bigger size to put into in the 70s. Never really got there, and now I'm kind of like in no man's land where I just don't have anything to do at these levels. So I'm happy to be patient for lower levels to add, but I'm still running like a lot of risk. I'm still long a lot of spot across those two, and obviously REKT as well. So it doesn't feel, for me, it doesn't quite. I would rather, I'm not good at predicting this stuff, but I would rather hold what I hold and watch it go lower than miss out on things going higher. That's the way I view it. And I'm like happy to sit here and be like, fuck, I'll take another 20-30% hit or whatever that ends up being on REKT. But I'd rather that than just being like, oh man, everything just did go back, and I don't have any skin in the game. I hate that feeling, basically.
I feel you. I feel like that's like, I'm 9 years in, nearly 10 years now, and I've just come accustomed to probably sitting, like missing opportunities, and that's okay because I know that there's probably always gonna be another opportunity. But mine is kind of like, I've added risk, right? Like I've bought a Moonbird, I've bought a shit ton of REKT recently. I've avoided holding Bitcoin because I think, at least my understanding of where the cycle is, we're closer to the end than the start. So I would much think, like, if we do go higher, which, as you said, like, I want to have exposure, and I think if we do go higher, then naturally things further down the risk curve probably outperform Bitcoin, right? So then you have that sort of asymmetric upside. So that's at least what I'm doing at the moment. But anyways, Craig, over to you, mate. Over to you.
Yeah, I'm similar to OSF in that point of view. I've kind of decided to keep this cycle. I sort of told myself I wouldn't go into too many coins. Obviously in 21, I went into every altcoin I could find. I had all the badges. I had every altcoin. I was like the scout leader. I had 1,000 badges on my chest, and I had everything from gaming to meta to everything like that. And then I thought, no, this cycle I'm going to focus on Bitcoin, sort of get to know that really well, its movements, its patterns, the way it moves, and things like that, which I did fairly well. And then focusing on more big caps like Solana, Ethereum to a certain degree, but certainly Solana was a great trade. But no, and then sort of like I said, if I minimized my meme coin bags a lot this time around. Obviously, I still hold a little bit of Pepe and a little bit of Mog. Those are moon bags from back in 22, 23. That for me at the moment, if it went to zero, would I be upset? Oh, just a touch, but there's not enough there to hurt me. I took enough profit on the way up. So similar to OSF, kind of dialed in on 3 to 5 tokens now and just holding those. And really, I'm in a selling mood. Versus, if this is the last hurrah coming up for a little while, I'll just be looking to scale out of the Bitcoin from there, as we've spoken about, Greenie, hold, be cash rich into 26, 27, and then look to buy up the lows because obviously the upside from there should be fantastic. But I do agree with OSF. I would rather be in and have skin in the game, even at these levels, than not, because I still think there's a fair chance for all the things we just covered before. There's enough catalyst there to push us up.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel like the 10th of the 10th might have been the black swan. Obviously, a lot got rinsed there. I don't know what exactly is happening in the background there, where the market makers a couple of them got terminated. I see Wintermute, I think, had to sell off, but has been selling bags since that event. I think Binance has as well, and things like that. How much you can take out of that, it's hard to say with news headlines. You never know whether it's clickbait or not. So that kind of felt like a black swan event in a way. So I sort of feel like that probably flushed a lot of weak hands, if you call it that, out. So maybe there is more room to the upside. And also the fact that Bitcoin was sort of holding these levels for quite some time now, around the 90s, sort of makes me think, geez, this may actually want to push higher. We haven't seen just a big drop. And it's sort of just been cooking at what I would call quite acceptable fib levels as well. So the longer we sit there, the more sort of confident I get in regards to maybe we are at support and maybe we will push to the upside. And that recent push up to, 97, tapping 98, that was an interesting move for me. And just to see if we rejected there, obviously we did. Obviously on the weekly, we closed below, dumped a little bit. But when I say dumped, it went from 98 to 92, 93. It's an acceptable push down or sell off. So I'm cautiously optimistic at the moment. Cautiously.
That's a word we've been using for a while.
It's probably the safest word I can use.
OSF, did you and Mando ever find out more information from your side about 1010 at all, or not really?
There are a lot of theories out there, and the honest answer is I don't know what's true and what's not true. I think what I do think is the stuff that came on the timeline about Wintermute blowing up or XYZ blowing up, I think they were all incorrect. I think most of these guys were actually fine, and the way that it worked was market makers basically just automatically pulled their liquidity when you had these wicks. So I don't think any market makers were actually too badly hurt. It was probably mostly people who had
open positions,
leverage positions they thought they were low. It's like, hey, I'm like 1.5x levered on Swede, like that's never going to get liquidated, right? Down 90%, bang, done. And those are the people who I think got hurt the most. So in that pool of people, it may have been funds, there may have been some big funds who got burnt, and I'm sure we'll find out more about that in the future. But it's one of those things where it just happened, and it's kind of like we're still feeling the impact from it, from people having to sell stuff. So
yeah, very valid. All right, let's move the conversation over to REKT. I want to start obviously with the product and how you're succeeding over there. Obviously, I saw this morning in your REKT Weekly sort of digest that you guys in promotion with Giant Eagle, 200 stores across 4 states in America, doing really well. The interesting point, obviously, that's amazing. Congrats with that. But the interesting point for me is most claimers are still holding their REKT and not selling. I wanted to tap into that. Is that something that you've noticed with all your launches, or is that just something maybe like the reason why? Like, is it because people maybe aren't crypto native, but they're buying the products, or are they part of your community? So a lot of people who are community members or have heard of you guys are like, yeah, shit, I want to buy that. I want to hold the REKT token in a free way, but also consuming the drink. Like, talk to us a little bit about the metrics and the reasoning potentially behind that.
Yeah, we do have quite a strong holding mentality, and if you look at those ratios, stuff like the percentage of diamond hand holders and stuff like that, we had some crazy stat where it was something like 80 or 90% of people who got the token from day one like still hadn't sold, and that's just generally how our community has been from day one prior to this token. So I always knew that's the way it would be. Now, seeing new people come in and buy drinks, claim coins, and then hold on to them, that's really interesting behavior. And I think people are viewing it as like, well, I actually want to think about drinks, right? It's not just like doing a fucking random DeFi trade or some weird on-chain thing that has no tangible value to it. Like, you can actually drink it and consume it. And to my surprise, people really like the drinks. I mean, I say to my surprise, I'm not in the drinks world, right? So I was like, how are we possibly going to create a drink that people like when it's the most saturated market out there in the world? But turns out people actually really like the drinks. So people are buying the drinks for the drinks. And it's like, hey, I'm getting this like coin on the side for free, and I'm just going to hold it because I've seen it. I've watched it go from wherever we went, from 20 mil market cap to 600 mil. And these guys are telling a really good story about the potential growth and upside of everything that we're doing. So, it's kind of like, and I see it. If I was buying these drinks, I would buy the drinks and I'll just hold on to this coin that I feel like I'm getting for free. And just in case something happens, right? And I think that's the mentality a lot of people have. There are people who are flipping the coins and making money off it here and there and doing it on the jobs, doing it in store. And, that's absolutely fine. Like, everyone can do what they want to do. And that's a mechanism for people to make money. It's good for us because it drives more activity for the coin, and it drives drinks revenues for us. But, I don't know. I think everyone involved, they've just got this feeling in their balls, if you like, where it's like, I gotta have some of this in case something crazy happens, right?
Yeah. No, I love that, Craig.
I just want to ask, with the drinks token, or not the drinks token, the REKT token and the drinks purchase in particular, I'm sort of seeing on the timeline people saying you can buy X amount of dollars in drinks and you end up probably doubling or tripling your money, which I thought was a pretty outstanding deal. And I was like, man, if that was in Australia, I'd be going absolutely ham to buy those. How's the response been to that promotion with that? Have people sort of recognized what sort of deal that is? Because that's crazy.
So. Yeah, on the first day, it wasn't slow, but it was kind of went under the radar a bit, I would say. And because we had to set the rewards for these purchases a while back, basically the price of REKT has rallied a lot since then. So it's now, with the rally we had yesterday, it's like you spend $7 on drinks and you're getting about $20 in REKT coins. So it's like it's almost 3 times your money, right? So I think a few people clocked on X when we were posting about it, and people who lived nearby, people who weren't even like in our community, were like, okay, cool, like I understand how to do this. I understand how to claim my coins and then sell them if I want to, and this is basically just free money. So once I think people started catching on, then the sales started going crazy basically, and we had to just spend the last 24 hours restocking stores, like getting more coupon codes out to the Giant Eagle stores for people to claim. But we're almost 400% through our sales target they gave us, which was a 31-day sales target, and we're 400% of the way through that in 7 days now. So it's it's pretty crazy. But for me, it's like, this is proof of concept that this works, and people, it's sort of like an ARB. If there's an ARB in the market, eventually the ARB closes because people go out there and do the ARB. This essentially is an ARB. There's free money out there. Eventually, however long it takes, someone's going to be like, okay, fuck, this is literally free money. Let me go out there and do it. And that's great for us because you get the attention from it, you get the drink sales, the people in the drinks industry are like, what the hell is going on? This is mental. They're like, this is incredible. And then we get the desired effect. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Well, it's like you're a pioneer in a saturated industry with a new sort of model, right? And that's the epic point that I really like, and that's why I obviously invest in the token. So I've seen you previously speak about buybacks. Have you executed any of these buybacks, or are these something on the horizon? Is it a bit kind of ambiguous and you're just gonna randomly do it? Like, how does that strategically work with what you're thinking?
Yeah, so last year I think we spent something like $300,000 or $400,000 in buybacks, and what we bought back is now worth over $1 million. So that that was good for the treasury. And then we implemented a policy at the end of last year where we'll spend 10% of revenues to buying the token and accumulating it for our treasury at REKT Brands Inc. So there's no specific timing attached to that as to when we'll do it and when we won't do it. My view is we should be thoughtful about doing it. Like, our goal is, how much can we buy as low as possible?
Yeah.
And my opinion is we should save those bullets for if you ever have another 10-10 or the market's weak or whatever. Obviously, as we approach the end of the year and we still haven't bought coins back, then it's like, fuck, we've got to buy the stuff back. But we're in the middle of January right now, and we have more drops coming up, and we have a bit of time to be thoughtful about that, I think. So the goal really is, it's not a hyperliquid style, let's just turn this engine on and keep pumping the token with buybacks. It's more like, okay, let's take coins off the market for our own treasury as cheap as we can, and hopefully as the revenues of the business grow, we take off more supply over months and years to come.
Yeah, cool. Craig?
With I just wanted to go off the last question I asked as well. Now, with you guys obviously having massive success, I can't remember the shop. It was a Giant Eagle, or was that?
Yeah, Giant Eagle. Yeah.
When you guys are hitting 400% in say 7-9 days, does that encourage Giant Eagle to go, man, give us as much as you can of it? And also, to dovetail off that, are you now finding it a lot easier to talk to other suppliers now that you've almost got a proof of concept that's kind of been proved? I guess, are more doors opening for you guys now versus right at the start?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way that it works is you have a distributor who you sell drinks to, and they make sure the stores are stocked, basically. And our distributor covers Giant Eagle. We actually have 2 distributors, and one of them covers something like 13,000 retailers across the Midwest. So they're obviously they have to onboard you, and they have to agree to onboard you. So we have to tell them about who we are, what our business model is, and obviously people are interested because it's different to your everyday drinks company. So everyone's kind of like watching as to whether this will work or not. And we've obviously had really good online sales. So it's like, okay, can these guys now convert that to an in-store presence? So the fact that we've done really well in a short space of time, and by the end of this promotion, which ends at the end of February, so we've still got a long time to go, the numbers will be really good. And it means through our distributor, hopefully we can get placed at more stores. Giant Eagle have been an amazing partner, and we'd love to continue working with them and getting them as much as we can, because they were the first ones to really give us a chance. But yeah, like, absolutely, if this thing, this is still early in this promotion, and there's a chance it just goes completely viral in a few weeks or even a few days, right? And we have some plans for some local marketing and press and that kind of stuff. So there is a chance you can get like this crazy moment of virality, and then everyone's like, "Fuck, how do we get these drinks? We want them," and that's when I think things get really, really exciting for us.
Well, if we touch on that a little further, obviously WorldStar, the drop sold out in 18 hours. I took the over 3 minutes odds on Myriad Markets, so let's go. I think I got in at like 50 or 60%, so it was a good little trade. The point that I want to talk on is here you mentioned 150,000 to 250,000 views on your reels compared to a typical 2,000 views. That's a crazy uptick, right? As you say, touching in on that virality. That is a word I always struggle to say. In terms of the viral nature of the post, is it like, and you touched on this too recently too, like marketing now becomes just new partnerships, new launches, right? Is that the strategic way that you think like REKT is really heading? Is just like, is it more partnerships is good, or is it potentially doubling down on who you've already partnered with?
No, I think more partnerships would be good. It's trying to cast our net as wide as we can and get new people to just even hear about REKT if they've not heard about the brand before.
Yeah.
Our existing partners have all been amazing, and we continue to work with them on many different fronts. And we announced a further partnership with OpenSea last week. We've done a bunch of stuff with MoonPay, Abstract, etc. So it's kind of like once you're in the REKT family, you're in the family forever. And when we get these drinks into stores, at Giant Eagle, we have the MoonPay drinks, we have the Abstract drinks. So they're getting, as people buy these drinks, everyone's seeing Abstract chain and they're saying MoonPay on these drinks. So it works well for our partners too. And these are all relationships we hope to have for a very long time. But yeah, we want to definitely grow our roster of partners. WorldStar and X Games are the first two that we've done outside of crypto, which is quite cool. And I'm very keen to break outside of crypto. Like I think it's not like everyone in crypto knows us, but we've got a very strong footprint. And I think, honestly, people in crypto get excited to see that you're breaking out of crypto. That's really what it is.
I do.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not even really about the people outside of crypto. It's just people in crypto want to see it happen. So and that's what we're very keen to do and focus on, so we can just break out of this echo chamber we're all in and have other people start getting into the brand, basically.
Yeah, very fair. I want to talk location based. Like obviously you're big in the States. I assume you're also launching in the UK and Europe. When are you launching in Australia? Because for Craig and I, we'd love to get exposure to this, but we can't, obviously. I understand the trade costs of obviously our borders and whatnot. But is this something that comes way down the line once you've maybe got a partnership with, say, 7-Eleven or something like that? Or how do you branch out to maybe new continents, new countries? Is it a scale thing once you've met metrics internally where you currently are? Or is it more of like, okay, now's the time we've got enough supply, or maybe we chance it over here, have a trial and error, see if it's worth it or not? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we've dabbled with doing things in different geographies, and we've obviously manufactured also drinks in the UK. We've distributed in Europe. We've looked at potential options for manufacturing in Asia. My belief and thought with where we are now is, let's just get the US right. And not only the US is massive, right? So let's just get Giant Eagle right. And then let's expand out that nucleus in the Midwest. And then, maybe we end up going down the Northeast of the US and do it that way. I think if we try and just attack random, random's the wrong word, but just try and go global straight away, which is kind of what we tried to do at the beginning, it becomes very tough. And, it's very costly too, because we have to manufacture drinks here, ship them over there. Who's going to do what? It's very labor intensive. And, at the cost of a very big cost and a lot of time, you then eventually get some drinks to some people across the world, and you realize that, well, we should just devote those resources to really nailing the US. And my view is, if we kill it in the US, we're going to organically grow very, very quickly. And then getting, the way that it works is we'll end up working with bigger players who are already who already exist in the space and
Yeah.
have experienced that scaling. And then it's going to be like, okay, cool. We already have these rails for you guys to expand out in Australia, in Asia, in the Middle East, etc. And then that becomes much easier for us rather than us trying to
do it yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Craig?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, as far as like, you've got your NFT collection as well. How do you find the juggling act of rewarding NFT holders, drink purchasers, token holders? Is it a bit of a challenge to make sure that each of those cups you're constantly kind of nurturing and rewarding those communities? Because I know even with Greenie and I having one brand and one product, obviously I guess being ourselves, that's a lot of work to even dial in on one, let alone different subsectors who might be like the NFT holders who might be like, oh, hang on, what about us, sort of thing. How do you find juggling all that balancing act with your community?
Yeah, it's something I go back and forth a lot with people because we've been pretty, I feel like we've really showed our intentions with the token being the thing that we're pushing and being valued the most, and not so much the NFT. Now, every NFT, REKT NFT was airdropped REKT coin, and at the highs that was worth 10 grand per REKT NFT, which is like, it's pretty decent. It's not it's no ape coin at the highs airdrop, but we have to operate in the world that we're in, and it's pretty decent. So I feel like everyone has that skin in the game, and it's up to them to decide what they do with, whether they just decide to keep the token or sell it or keep the NFT, etc. But my view is that the whole point of what we're doing right now is to scale REKT and make this brand global and bigger than just crypto. And in order to make it global, we need as many people in our community as possible. With NFTs, we have 8,814 NFTs and we have 3,500 holders. If someone wants to get into the REKT ecosystem with just the NFTs, they have to spend $800 or whatever it is to buy an NFT. And sure, we could just sell more NFTs or create another collection, but we all know how that's worked and gone in the past, not very well. There's no reason to think that we would suddenly be the magical ones to pull that off. So, with a token, someone can be, these people out there claiming coins at Giant Eagle, $20 worth of our coin. That's a new holder, right? You can't buy a REKT guy for $20. Maybe you can buy a partial REKT guy for $20, but no one gets that, right? So it's just very clear to me that the fungible token is really going to be the engine for success here, and that's just, it is what it is. I'm not hating on NFTs, but for our purpose and what we're trying to do, it 100% is the right decision, and that's going to be the focus.
Yeah, I agree. And it allows fractional ownership of REKT, doesn't it, then as well? So someone like the neighbor down the road who maybe doesn't have 800 to $1,000 for an NFT might have $100 for a punt and says, oh, look, this price might go up. For $100, he can feel like he owns a part of the company or has, exposure to the success, which is a lot more better entry level. And I think also for virality, got that one, Greenie, for virality as well, if you've got someone going in and buying your drinks, making 3x on their money, surely they tell their neighbor. Like, that's the sort of thing where if I found arbitrage like that, after I had cashed in a little bit, I'd be saying to my mates, guys, you've got to get down to that, scale the whole country or city, find as many of those drinks as you can and load up. Because I've seen that done before with other products. And that's actually, in my experience, a really good way to go viral, probably in a different space other than crypto Twitter. So that's probably been quite successful. So it's probably not a question there, more of a statement. I said, sorry, Greenie, you fire away, brother.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Like, why do you think the REKT community is just so powerful? Like, arguably it is one of the most sustained, engaging, strong communities that I've seen in my time in crypto. And that's nearly a decade. Why do you think that is? Is it because it was all initially free? Like, is it you guys? Is it just what the REKT brand stands for? What do you put it down to?
I think a lot of it is the fact that the original REKT guy collection was free. We didn't charge anything for it. And it came at a time when people were just, doing scam NFT projects and rugging people. So I think people respected that. We then gifted equity in the company to our NFT holders. We did the REKT coin airdrop, and just generally speaking, throughout, we're now in our 5th year of this whole journey, which is relatively long time in crypto.
Very much so.
Yeah. I think we've just acted the right way and done the right thing, and you know, not just run away, or like, you know, I haven't just fucked off when I made a load of money on meme coins. I've stuck around to put my all into building this thing, and I think people, I guess, respect that or understand that I actually have a bigger goal than just monetizing, like trying to do something cool and I guess prove a point, and people really get behind it. You know, like, you'd be amazed, not every single person out there is just trying to get rich quick on a 100x overnight. And 99% of people are, but there is still 1% of people, or there are still 1% of people who are not. And our community, you know, people in our community, they are older. I think we have an older group of people in our community. They're people who are, you know, have good job, like pretty high profile jobs, earning very well outside of crypto. They're looking for stuff, investments they can hold on to without having to worry it's going to get rugged and that kind of stuff. That's not just Bitcoin. So we do have I think a more sophisticated holder base than the average meme project or NFT project. And these people have been there since the beginning and have made a lot of money on it. So they really believe in this vision now. So we are lucky. I think we're very lucky that we have a good community who has just generally supported us all the way through. But we've also had our own setbacks. We've had multiple times where, you know, we've down 90% on whether it was the NFTs, the coin, etc. And where I could have just been like, fuck, it didn't work, I'm just going to walk away. And we haven't done that. Like, we've bounced back from the dead, so to speak, like multiple times now. And I think people now have that confidence in, like, okay, it's not always going to be up only, and we may have future setbacks, but we're always going to find a way to bounce back from it. And I think that's what gives people the confidence to really hold on for the long run.
What are your strategies outside of CT? I think that's huge, and that's what I like to see, and that's bullish for me. As you say, like, this is something that I'll probably swing trade, being the swing trader that I am. But this is something that I am interested in holding for the long term, because, as you say, you're going outside of the bubble that is CT, and I think a lot of people always forget that CT is very much a niche and very much a bubble of a tiny percent of what crypto potential has. What is your strategy? Is it other social media platforms? Is it these partnerships, IRL? Is it just brand awareness? Talk to us about your strategies at the moment.
Yeah, so we will have other partnerships outside of the Web3 space, which will be great for getting people into the product. What I would say is we actually have quite a large part of our customer base who are non-crypto. I don't know how, like, we just seem to have these people who buy drinks, don't claim rewards. And since we restocked drinks without rewards, our sales have been pretty good. They were pretty good in stores at Giant Eagle before the rewards came online. And on our website, they're pretty good. And it's like the average order someone's putting in is like $200 or $300 for Spark and Mortar, right? So people are spending, and that gives me a lot of confidence that there's something in the product itself. And that's what I think people are kind of missing. Like, if you create a good product in the space, and we're obviously moving on to energy and other functional products later on this year, and you get the right distribution for it, it will sell. And we're selling them on our website right now without any marketing, like zero paid marketing. We barely have an email list that we send to, you know, maybe we do that like once every 2 weeks. We're not on doing any paid ads or anything, but people are still just, you know, even like 10 minutes ago during this thing, I just see on my Shopify someone place an order, $125 like for drinks. I'm just like, who's buying this shit? You know what I mean? But there are people who are buying it, and that's what I think the thing is. That's the powerful thing. Like, there's actually a real, beyond all the crypto stuff, there's a real product with a real business that real people are actually consuming. And when we turn that engine on, which is like, okay, traditional marketing, get Amazon going, have a proper team behind it, pushing it. Once we expand to further stores, you know, like what we've done in Giant Eagle is just 200 stores. Now imagine that is 10 times that amount. Imagine that's 2,000 stores. Imagine that's 20,000 stores. This whole thing from a revenue standpoint can grow very, very quickly. And guess what? None of it's all non-crypto. Like, it's all just like as a standalone business. And that's the thing that's exciting, because we have that buyback thing in place. Crypto people will see the growth of the brand. Eventually, at some point, if we ever want to raise more capital and that kind of stuff, you know, you attract very interesting people to what you're doing. And I've had some very extremely interesting conversations in the last few weeks that I can't like divulge the exact details of. One day I will, but it's the sort of things where you'd be like, oh fuck, like that's pretty big, right? And again, these are all non-crypto people. So That's what I'm really excited about. And I think it's nice to hear people like you say that, Greenie, because I think I chat to a lot of people who are like, yeah, like I've sold all my crypto, I'm bearish, but this is the only thing that I'm holding, or I understand that it may not work out this year, or but it will in 2 or 3 years. I think people understand that over a multi-year period, there's a good chance this blows up into being something big, and it's almost like people treat the REKT coin as if it was like a investment into the company, like
that's how I kind of see it in a way. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And if it was a private investment, you wouldn't even be able to sell it now anyway. So people are like, I'm just going to hold on to it, because I think everyone feels like there is something there, and there is some high probability that something big could happen in a reasonable time frame, and that's obviously what we're pushing for as well. And that's why I think people are holding. That's why I think people are holding on to it, and a lot of people are. You're not alone.
Did you hear that, Craig? A rumor has it Craig's going to plow 10 grand into the token today.
Nice. Yeah, man. I've been waiting for a pullback, but Greenie keeps plowing thousands of dollars in and north. Although it might be time to buy some soon. I wanted to also ask you just real quickly. We spoke, I think it was May 25. And when we chatted OSF, you had actually made asked you what one of your goals were. And your big one was a million units or a million drinks to sell. I just wanted to touch on that, because obviously that's the last time we spoke. Did you hit it, and how quickly did you hit it from there, if you did?
Yeah, we did. We managed to we sold 1 million cans. We did it in September last year, so it was done in just under 12 months of selling drinks. So I think when I said that to you, Craig, it was one of those things where I was like, maybe we'll do it, maybe we won't. We probably won't. Like, it's kind of like a crazy number. And then we actually went on to do it, which is kind of amazing, really. And I think that's when it became clear we were going to do it at some point. And when that became clear, I think that's when I realized, like, fuck, I just should stop everything that I'm doing and focus on this, because clearly there's something here that we can blow up and make really big. So
yeah, congratulations. That was a huge achievement. And am I right? Did I see those were sort of along the lines of Red Bull type numbers, early day Red Bulls? Maybe not. I don't mean as far as Red Bull now, but I'd sort of seen comparison to early days of success and traction. I don't know if that was someone else.
There's some stats starting around that Red Bull sold 1 million cans in their first year of operations, and I think Mike's Hard Lemonade was another one that did it. So I don't know. It's hard to verify these stats. Yeah. When people started mentioning it and I started mentioning it, I was like, oh, let me just verify it and check. And I couldn't really find the right stuff, but it's certainly a big achievement now. Something like Prime did way more than that in his first year. But what we've done is just D2C, like just from our website, without any of the traditional distribution stuff. So it's, I'm not downplaying our achievement. It was definitely a big achievement. And just to do it, go from zero to doing that, I think is, I still have to pinch myself on it sometimes.
Yeah, that's epic.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Yeah, we've got a couple of people in the chat, and you'll probably get this a lot. When energy drinks, are you guys looking at broadening your horizon into that, or is that something you're trying to kind of stay away from as far as caffeinated drinks or energy drinks and things like that?
No, we're definitely going to do energy drinks. We're going to move into the functional space, so it's energy and other stuff. We should have energy powders out very soon, and then ready to drink energy drinks out soon as well. And they're really good. Like, it's funny, I've never really drunk caffeine or consumed caffeine my whole life, and I've just been trialing these drinks, basically. Just obviously we've been like doing testing and stuff, and now I'm like, I actually like need our REKT drinks because it's become a part of like my daily routine. And they're really good. It works really well, and it helps with other functions as well, that we'll talk about when we release it. But it's actually a really good product. I know it's a good product because I, as a non-caffeine drinker, now feel like I need one every day. Like, I'm almost like borderline addicted to it. Like, I've because we get these samples sent to us for the flavors, and I've actually even inquired about, can I just like pay to buy these drinks and just send them out to me in the fucking like unbranded silver cans? Like, it's fine. I just need to consume this every day. So they're good products, and that's an exciting space to be in because of basically what I just mentioned. No one says comments like that about sparkling water, but they do about energy drinks.
What is your favorite
especially
flavor?
being the crypto space, right? There's a lot of crypto people that are probably overindulging in stimulants to lock in and stuff like that.
Easily.
Exactly that.
Exactly pharmaceuticals, I'm sure. So a clean energy drink's probably not a bad option for the people in the space versus everything else they might consume.
And it does work, you know. We have it's all natural ingredients. It's natural caffeine, and we have a few other natural ingredients in there, and it does work. Like I'll have one, and I'm like fucking locked in for like 10 hours. I'm just like, wow, I've been so productive. I need to have the shit every day. And I wear a Whoop and I track my recovery and stuff. All my recovery has gone like way better since having the stuff during the day. I still don't really know why. I guess because like I consume less energy or I feel less tired because I've had this. I don't really know, but it's really like been a bit of a game changer for me, which I'm quite surprised about, because I thought this would be a product that I wouldn't actually consume and it would just be for energy drinkers, but I actually think it's not. I think it could be a bit bigger than that. So
that's cool. What is your favorite flavor, out of curiosity?
Of the sparkling water, I would say it was the Moon Crush one, but I've been getting back into the OpenSea Shipwrecked flavor, which is like a grapefruit one.
Okay.
That's a very juicy, refreshing flavor. So I think that's probably my favorite right now.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe I'll order it next time they all come available, or maybe they don't, if they're just limited series offerings.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, they are mostly back in stock now, but it's going to cost you a bit.
Gio, I was just looking UK.
I had a look yesterday actually, because I was obviously doing a bit of DD and I was going through and I was thinking what I would order. Shipping to Australia is brutal. And that's not you guys in isolation either. That's every company that ever releases any physical product. To get it to us, you're pretty much talking at least doubling the price, if not tripling in some cases.
Despite that, we do actually have customers in Australia and New Zealand and Hong Kong, who order every time. Like we've got this one guy, a couple of guys in New Zealand, and he puts in an order for one case every time. I'm just like, respect, like, you know, I really appreciate that. So
good on him. Good on you. You've got rabid fans, don't you? I mean, because I think postage to Australia was about 100 US. So I mean, you're pretty
almost double the cost of the drink.
So it's about 220 all up. So that in New Zealand, especially with their dollar being where you talk about $400. So someone is very keen on your product, right? Which is quite a big statement, isn't it? Like,
it is. It is
really good.
Yeah, it's cool to see for sure.
Won't take too much more of your time. Two last maybe questions. What can REKT holders look forward to in 2026 that you're happy to disclose at this point in time?
Yeah, I think we've spoken about the energy drinks and other products that we have coming out, which are super exciting. What I would say is by the end of this year, the goal is that you will see us as a much, much bigger drinks company than we have been in the last year or so. Last year was about proving that this concept and business model works on an online small scale. This year is about proving that we can scale that concept to become much larger. The first pilot test for us was getting it right in Giant Eagle, and it seems like we've got it right. The early numbers are really, really strong.
Yeah.
And that's opened up a lot of doors for us. So by the end of this year, there's a couple of things we have planned that I can't talk to yet, but by the end of this year, things are going to look very, very different to where we are now, and everything's going to be on a much, much bigger scale. So it's going to be a big year and a fun year, and a lot of hard work ahead for myself and the team, but there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm really not worried about having things to post about and update people on and keep the news flow coming. It's a stacked month. We have the X Games stuff coming up this weekend, which I think people are going to find really cool once that stuff comes out. And it's going to be a very stacked quarter as well. And then once we get a couple of things done, it's going to be very exciting. So there's a lot to look forward to.
That's cool. Last few personal topics. So how did you experience, what was your experience with the Ashes, mate? Pretty disappointing performance in my opinion by England, even though Stuart Broad and whatnot came out and said it's supposed to be the strongest team of England since 2010.
No, I mean, it's clearly not the strongest team. There's a lot of issues with the current England cricket team. I was hoping you guys wouldn't bring it up, actually.
I only thought of it just now.
I was like, we've almost got to the end here and they haven't brought up the Ashes, so I'm doing quite well. But I mean, we always do shit in Australia, number one, but number two, I think a lot of things need to change in the team. So, you can't go out and play baseball every single time and expect to. Something's got to change. But
yeah, for sure. No, I think Joe Root scoring a couple of hundreds or whatever, the 100, good on him. And Bethra, I think he has a strong future. He looks like he's got the right temperament, so that's exciting.
Yeah. We'll see you guys in England next year.
Yeah, man. No, I actually really should think about coming over for that.
I thought about it as well. I actually said to my dad, we need to go watch England Australia at some point. So
cool.
Dad is keen. So maybe I might take him on a trip to come and see you guys there back at your
maybe
home.
Market Mates.
Yeah,
Market Mates, yes.
Let me know if you guys do.
Will do. Last question. What's your bold take for crypto in 2025? Like, obviously, we spoke at the start of the show that you are fundamentally bullish. Talk to us. What's something bold, or maybe 3 things that you have as a bold take for this year?
I think we'll see new all-time highs on Bitcoin. I think we'll see new all-time highs on ETH as well. I think ETH is actually the thing that could be, well through all-time highs, and I think ETH BTC will outperform this year. Those are 3 things. Okay. I mean, they're not like crazy bold, but they're pretty bold. I think not many people would say that, but I think we'll see all 3 of those things happen this year.
Yeah. Excellent. No, Ovi, thank you so much for jumping on with us. We very much appreciate your time and always enjoy having a chat with you. So thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. All right. Cheers, boys. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks for pulling up, brother. Catch ya.
Of course. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, man. Well, great. Yeah, Craig, that was a great episode with obviously OSF from REKT, guys. Make sure you go follow OSF, guys, OSF_REKT, and obviously REKT Drinks on Twitter. And I mean, that's their website as well. Craig, what's your digest from that?
I think they've got a long future ahead of them. And if they can keep continuing their success physically in stalls and things, I think they want to, look, I think whether you're in the NFTs or the token or not, I think you've got to champion them and cheer them on. I'm obviously not in REKT coin. I don't own an NFT. Not yet, but I'm still cheering them on because the more companies that do this, that succeed, the better chance we have of crypto adoption. Obviously, I think crypto adoptions, it's being adopted, right? It's being adopted. But what I also want to see is not just Bitcoin and Ethereum. I want to see products. I want to see real world products that my neighbor next door, I see him cracking a can of something and it's a REKT drink.
That's pretty dope.
And it's full integration. Because the moment that happens, man, all the other stuff is just going to go so much better. So for me, super good to see. And I love seeing, and great bunch of guys, that make time, my second time talking to him, they make time for the normal people, the people on the ground. And what I like about them is I think they haven't forgotten where they came from.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot to be said for founders like that, because obviously there's other founders we've come across that aren't so much like that, don't seem to understand the community, and maybe even call them terrorists from time to time. So, so when you're looking at 2 opposite sides of how to run a company, this side calling people terrorists, the other side being OSF and Mando, I like what they're doing. They seem like a good bunch of guys. They've got a good product, and I'd love to just see them kick ass, which is actually probably one of the reasons I've wanted to put money into the coin. Yeah. Not so much. Most of my investing, it just about always is to make money, but there's the odd time I don't mind doing a purchase just to make a statement either. So that would probably be one of those buys. So that's I think probably quite a unique position for a brand to get into my head enough to make me think, I just want to look after these guys a little bit. Yeah. So that's probably a pretty good thing to have done to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's hard not to be bullish on them. As you say, they're humble. They understand what works, what doesn't work. They haven't rugged. They've done nothing but provide opportunity to the people who have given them support from day dot. So $0 to mint their NFT, token distribution to the NFT, equity in the business, and now they're giving away literally free money to people who purchase their drink. So I think it's definitely good upside, and I agree with BellX as well. Shout out to BellX for always supporting my content too. But buy the REKT token, mate. I agree with you.
It's not on a dip yet. I need that.
Well, it is down. It was 167 yesterday. It's at 150 today.
True. Yeah, true. Bring up the chart maybe quickly, Greenie. Bring up the chart for me. You'll have it charted sexy. So let's. Okay. So we're holding above the 786.
Yeah, so really nice low time frame breakout again here, which is like, again, a lot. 2 reasons I like this chart. First reason, it's broken out of its high time frame resistance, right? Out of this trend here, it's broken out and it's up here. A lot of tokens aren't even here. They're still here, like here. That's the first reason I like it. Second reason, we actually broke out again of this low time frame region as well. Love to see that. Volume is still, I mean, volume on chain is been down. It has been down since last year. So there's nothing like, whilst I do like to trade based on volume, as we've kind of alluded to today, it's a little bit more of a fundamental potential standpoint here and playing the long-term game and the long-term hodl. Like there's not much else I'd rather be holding right now. And to be honest, like I'd rather hold, as I said, like if OSF's bold claim, and I agree with him on the second and the third claim, I think ETH is the underhorse this year. I would much rather hold ETH-based assets firstly, but I would much rather hold this than Bitcoin right now, Craig, because if we do see an all-time high, not surely, but like this pushes back towards 400 million in my opinion, which is still a 3-4x from here, Craig, like a 4x, 3x up to this sort of region. So yeah,
it's
I
one
don't
of the
mind.
better charts out there at the moment, especially with Bullcoin. Bitcoin pulling back to where it did. REKT still maintained its structure really nicely versus other memes kind of got decimated again. So it does lead me to believe REKT's, it's one of the leaders, isn't it? It's sort of REKT and Pepe, I feel that kind of, if Bitcoin starts running, they seem to be the two that run first and hardest. So that's what I always look for. I don't know if other people do that in the chat. If you don't, maybe start to do it. But what I do is on green days, I go look at the other things that are moving along with it, showing strength at the same time that Bitcoin shows strength, because that's probably what's going to move fastest and hardest versus say, when Bitcoin pumps, I don't want to bag on too much, but you see a coin like AVAX, Bitcoin might move 5% and AVAX might only move 1%, whereas Pepe will move 20, REKT will move 20, 25, 30. Those are the coins you want to look out for. So I agree. I should have got into this at about 78 mil. That would have been a glorious buy. So this is probably one of the safer bets, I reckon, if you want to call it an altcoin or meme coin. REKT's probably one of the 5 I'd consider buying. There aren't many anymore, man. Not many.
No, I agree. And I think the fact that they had that liquidation issue as well of the 4% supply and it only went down to like 40, 70 mil, like it was recovered very quickly. I think that's quite bullish in itself, that the community and support liquidity really came back and bidded into this. So yeah, I think it's a safe hold for me. And as I said, I'm bullish, and I think I agree with the take that ETH is definitely going to outperform BTC. I think that's a no-brainer for me, and that's why I don't hold any BTC currently. And I do think I'm happy to buy BTC, hopefully, if it goes lower. If not, then so be it. I'm happy to sit on the sidelines of that trade. I'm comfortable. Unlike a lot of people out there who do feel like OSF said, like he feels that, maybe not necessarily FOMO, but he feels like, shit, man, I missed out on an opportunity here. Whereas I've learned to become comfortable with that, which a lot of people don't necessarily ever get to investing or trading. So yeah, I mean, really good episode. Anything else you want to touch on today, Craig? I mean, there's obviously news and stuff, but we'll talk about that probably on tomorrow's show, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good chat with OSF. I think Redcoin looks that, I mean, not just because he was on the show. We've spoken about that chart for quite some time, especially yourself. That looks, the setup looks, what you're looking for at the moment in this lull is setups. So not so much, boo-hoo, my coins are doing crap. Yeah, if that's the case, maybe look at either exiting and picking a stronger horse, or bide your time to get an exit pump. But certainly Rex probably, I think, structurally, man, probably number one. Probably number one, dude. Because are you going to buy Bitcoin at 92? I'm not. So I'd be looking for coat plays or secondary plays. REKT, maybe. Ethereum, maybe. But I'm still... Ethereum, I'm not sure, but I think I do agree with you guys. It's showing better upside than, say, maybe Solana or Ethereum versus BTC doesn't look too bad. So maybe Ethereum will have a final run at the tail end. Maybe, maybe. So, yeah, there's not a lot that I'm looking at to buy, but REKT is, I'm going to say REKT's the only one. I reckon that's the only coin that
Pepe pullback I'm interested in potentially.
Yeah, I'm looking for a retest, to be honest there. But other than that, other than say if there's a new hot meta that comes, I'm an observer at the moment. I'm a voyeur. I'm not in a real big buying mood. I'm more in a selling mood, especially at this tail end of the cycle. Although, as you've said in prior episodes, being risk on now is probably not a bad bet, or bad call. It's just what is the key, right? Being risk on is one thing, but I don't think what you mean by that is don't just ape into anything and everything. It's you've got to be quite selective and careful with what you pick. But no, other than that, Greenie, I think good show. Good to talk to the big fella. He's always a good guest. Obviously, they're doing extremely well. Great to see them do well. Hopefully, their stuff can come to Australia so we can sort of get stuck into that. And certainly the energy drinks, I'd be a fan of that. But other than that, no, we can cover the news tomorrow. Bitcoin's just chilling at 92. Obviously, after that dip, it's kind of just holding steady now. So hopefully it just starts to cook at that 92 level. And then hopefully we can take another charge at 98 again and perhaps break through and head into the hundreds. That's sort of my hope. Obviously, I sold off some at 97 in the worry that this might happen. It happened. Not that I'm just typical movements, right? But maybe that 98 was the lower high, Greenie. Who knows? But time will tell. I'm still thinking further upside. And hopefully, as we continue to talk throughout the week and next week, hopefully we start to see Bitcoin push north again, and our favorite alts and memes can start to pump in, and the timeline can get excited again once more.
Yeah, we'll have to see what plays out, guys. As always, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, check out OKX down below, and massive shout out to Ovi for jumping on with us today. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate your time.
Cheers, Greenie. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and thanks to the viewers for pulling up today. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon.